Ben Willis appears to be enrolled in an art college, and he has a stunning girlfriend who is both adorable and in excellent physical shape. However, Susie, her girlfriend, recently ended their relationship. Ben is unsure about how to console his girlfriend when she is inconsolable. He believes his lack of romance and boredom are the reasons his girlfriend dumped him. However, he learns that Susie has already been with someone else when he gets to school the following day. Ben is devastated to learn that Susie has already begun a new relationship without waiting. His friend consoles him by adding that starting a new relationship is the best way to get over a broken heart. He asserts that because women are possessive, Susie will return to Ben once she learns that he has a new girlfriend. Ben, however, is unable to because Susie occupies all of his thoughts. Ben is back in the hostel and starting to regret breaking up with Susie as he hears the hormonal ruckus coming from next door. So he phones Susie and begs for a reconciliation. But Susie turns him down, saying that her new partner is very considerate of her and that she hopes Ben won't bother her again. Ben hangs up the phone feeling completely defeated. He has visions of Susie running through his head and is in the mindset of losing love. Out of profound anguish, Ben loses sleep. Ben's inability to sleep as a result of the call that evening is much worse. Ben is severely sleep deprived, yet he is nevertheless cheerful, eating, and drinking well. Ben receives 8 hours of extra free time as a result. He wants to pass the time by reading books, but the thought of Susie's image keeps tormenting him. He needs to take action to distract himself and stop feeling this misery. While shopping for groceries one day, Ben notices Sharon, the attractive cashier. Additionally, he discovers a means to pass the time as a result of the experience of hopping by working the overnight shift at the grocery store. By doing so, he will be able to see Sharon and get through the tedious 8 hours, thereby slaying 2 birds with 1 stone. Additionally, he might be able to move on from his ex-girlfriend. The manager of the grocery store is especially pleased with Ben. After all, it's unusual to find a young man who is eager to work at night. Ben is now working nights at the grocery store as a result. He runs into Sharon once again that day in front of the locker. Sharon says hello to him and rushes in because she is running late. There is a beautiful encounter. Ben is, however, extremely upset by what follows. The manager discovers Sharon after the fact, but he takes no responsibility. Instead, he gives Sharon a little slap on the hip and tells her it's okay. When Ben sees this, he is upset. He moves toward the shelf and stands there aimlessly staring at the food that is spread out on the ground. Ben doesn't suddenly come to his senses until the manager approaches him and tells him to report to work. The worst enemy of these employees is boredom, despite the fact that they have finally discovered a means to pass the complete 8 hours in the store. However, everybody has a method for wasting time. Sharon holds the opinion that time moves more slowly the more one cares about it. She doesn't check her watch since she believes time will pass swiftly. Barry Brickman and Matt Stevens, the other 2 employees, are utter losers. Every day they tell filthy jokes or hold scooter races at the grocery store to pass the time. All of these naturally take place while the management is absent. The manager is the final person on the night shift schedule, and his preferred method of passing the time is to periodically tease Sharon. The oily, bald man has no real sense of who he is. Ben hasn't been capable of fitting in, even if his co-workers each have their own methods for spending time. Following that, Ben had sleeplessness for another 2 weeks. However, it ends up being a blessing in disguise. Ben's insomnia makes it difficult for him to distinguish between illusion and reality. He discovers unexpectedly one night that he has the ability to freeze time, causing everyone around him to become immobile like statues. In the halted environment, Ben can easily walk. He attentively scans his surroundings. Ben's inner devil heart runs out as he gazes at these colorful beauties in the grocery store. He wants to trick the manager and the unpredictable co-workers by putting the boss ahead of Barry and Matt, which is hurting their reputations. Then, of course, not for anything filthy, he pulls off all the supermarket beauty's clothing. Instead, he pulls out his sketchbook and begins to draw. Ben studies art because he has a strong obsession with naked women that dates back to his childhood. Thanks to his superpower to stop time, Ben can now take a moment to contemplate the graceful people in front of him and understand the concept of beauty. Right now, he is simply thinking about how much he respects human bodies and works of art. After the sketch is complete, he meticulously dresses the girls. Then time moves forward with a click from Ben's fingertips. Observing that Ben is indeed dissatisfied, his friend convinces him to go see their neighbor Natasha. She has been providing sex to individuals in the area since she was a teenager. Despite his friend's encouragement, Ben is reluctant to go see Natasha because he wants to indulge a suppressed craving. He runs into Sharon again on that day. Ben only dares to look at Sharon from a distance, despite the fact that he likes her very much on the inside. He doesn't even have the guts to ask her out to a movie. Someone else will act sooner as a result of your lack of courage. Ben doesn't think Sharon will agree to date Matt. Additionally, Matt describes to Ben that he and Sharon had a wonderful night the following day. Ben had turned 3 times in his life. The female athlete is the first one. The second person is his biology instructor, whose stunning form has a strong draw on Ben. Green, another student in his class, is indeed the third and perhaps most significant. Due to an unintentional break in his left hand, Green was wearing a cast. An arm covered in long, thick hairs was visible once the plaster was taken off. She was deeply offended that her peers made fun of her as a result. The only person who went up to her and offered to console her was Ben. They began dating after falling in love with one another. Ben was too anxious to kiss Green and instead he raced away. Ben was greatly affected when Green later changed schools and moved to the USA with her parents. And because of this, despite the length of time he had already been dating Susie, things didn't get better. And this time, because of his cowardice, a loser has to take his loved one away. Ben's only option is to repeatedly pause time so that he can paint every picture of Susie. Ben is more upset as he mulls the situation over, but luck soon turns out to be on his side once more. The manager arranges a soccer competition between workers from various supermarkets. Ben the recluse is also required to participate. On the court, the manager tries to flaunt his skills. Due to the different strengths of the two teams, Ben and his teammates are defeated 26-0 by the opposition. The manager is still upbeat at this point and keeps encouraging everyone. Nevertheless, they are set to lose the very last game because they haven't received professional training. Ben uses his time-frozen superpower at this point. He actually has no desire to assist the management in securing the victory and the title. Instead, he is considering how to set up a time to be by himself with Sharon. The football suddenly drops and strikes the boss in the face as soon as he unfreezes time. A hospital ambulance is called for the manager. Ben takes advantage of the opportunity right away and invites Sharon over for coffee. Ben accidentally inquires about Sharon and Matt's relationship in the cafe. Sharon explains to him that all they did was watch a movie. Ben is thrilled to learn this. They then discuss their lives and aspirations. In order to pay for her education, Sharon works the late shift. She plans to study Spanish and then visit South America. She doesn't want to live a life that is meaningless, and Ben strongly agrees. His dream is also quite straightforward. He aspires to become an exhibition-ready painter. The more they converse, the more comfortable they become with one another. Sharon is sent home by Ben following the date. Although he wants to touch Sharon farewell, he merely kisses her on the cheek because of his lack of expertise. However, this is still a solid beginning. The following day, the manager makes a statement stating that his birthday is quickly approaching and that he hopes everyone can attend his party. Ben is asked whether he desires to be Sharon's partner, and he gladly accepts right away. And it's the first time since the breakup that Ben actually has a restful night's sleep. He is now fully recovered from the effects of the split. Ben doesn't become aware until he receives a call. The man claims to be the manager of a gallery and says that he would want to host an exhibition for Ben after seeing his painting. Ben is unaware that Matt is actually the one in control and that the whole situation is a joke. Ben is especially upbeat now that his love life and job are both going well. They head to the party after he picks up Sharon. However, something awkward occurs when his ex, Susie, is also there. Susie's lover, with whom she began dating right after her separation from Ben, turns out to be the manager's brother. She also wishes to begin a kiss with Ben and do makeup with him. As Sharon watches all of this, she abruptly turns away in anger. Ben wants to freeze time in order to halt Sharon and speak to her, but even after 2 full days of contemplation, he is still at a loss for words. He visits Sharon's home, but like Susie, Sharon is frantic and doesn't want to hear anything he has to say. Ben grows depressed without Sharon. The phone conversation from the audience is his sole solace. He enters the gallery, where the manager claims that he's never even called him. But because Ben is already here, he wants to see Ben's creations. After seeing Ben's paintings, the person in charge makes the decision to host an exhibition for him right away. Ben then extends an invitation to Sharon. She is shocked to see that all of Ben's paintings at the exhibition are of her. It is not necessary to explain anything at this time because these paintings serve as the best proof of Ben's love for her. Ben stops time once more as the snow falls outside in a lovely drift. Sharon is removed from the audience by him. The two give each other passionate kisses in the calm snowstorm.